US lawmakers were forced to do a backflip. You heard that right. Or you don't believe me? Take a look at this clip and then we shall continue.
What's the significance of this backflip?
Well, it's a really interesting one, actually, because I think you need to put it in the context of exactly how long it was in place. I mean, it was only at the end of May that the US officials sent out these letters to leading chip design software firms and asked them to stop selling their technology to China. But just this morning, we had the announcement from Siemens. They led the charge, of course, the German company, but putting out a statement and saying that, in fact, they had been told that they could restart that supply of critical technology to mainland China. And now we're also hearing other leading companies like Synopsys, like Cadence, are in the process of doing so.
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, The Wealthy Mindset. It's yours truly, Money Making Mitch. And as usual guys, this is not financial advice. Please do your own due diligence and research. So yes, you see, Siemens and the rest of them were waiting for their Washington masters to give their European government the okay. And what is very strange and funny about this is they stopped selling chips to the Chinese because they say it's a threat to national security, most of all. Even if the robots in Neo factory work, they say they're working too hard and that's a threat. So all of a sudden, selling chips to the Chinese is not a threat anymore. But why is that? Well, I'll tell you why. And I've said it on the station. China doesn't only make the cards, they hold the cards. They hold them and they make them. And there is a little thing called rare earth minerals that if we do not get them here in America, you cannot use your fingernails, sadly, to make the products that we need. We need that rare earth minerals. So the orange lion had to bend his knee and turn into a little yellow putty tat. I think I saw a putty tat. And whilst all this is happening, we saw Joe Rogan speak about NIO on his podcast. Without mentioning the name, he spoke about the battery swapping, the suspension system, blah, blah, blah. However, this is funny. Excuse me, guys. He follows our Neo San Francisco on his Instagram. And Neo San Francisco, Jeff, aka Neo San Francisco, a very own Neo San Francisco, who moved from San Francisco and is living in China, sent Joe Rogan a little message after he showed that podcast, that clip, saying it's okay to mention that the name of the company is called NIO, Joe. And Joe Rogan read it. So, whilst all this is happening, this is why I've always said that it's just a matter of time before the Chinese EV makers enter the American market. I've always said use history as your teacher. One not so intelligent lad came on my channel yesterday and he said, "Oh, Mitch, the company is doing well. It keeps growing. But the Wall Street, the big boys on Wall Street will never let this, never," he said, "let the share price run." That's when I said to the poor lad, I asked him, is this why Citicorp bought over 31 million shares? Is this why UBS bought over 31 million shares in the first quarter? Is this why the whales have that much with Bridgewater Associates just adding? Of course, she did not reply. So I know, because I use history as my teacher, just like the great Ray Dalio, the living legend, that just like with Toyota, just like with now they have to sell the chips, but it's too late, you see, because China is developing their own chips as well, and they will not stop doing so because they know what they're dealing with. And whilst all this is happening, NIO's June battery swap report, are you guys ready for this? 2.71 million swaps conducted in June. Boom! The same battery swap business model that the shorts used to say is a waste. It's cash burn. 2.71 million swaps conducted in June. Over 3,300 swap stations deployed. Boom! How you like them apples? And most of those swap stations are now being built by not most of them, all of them, by the partnerships. By Chang'an, Cherry, Geely, SAIC. By the provinces in China, the governmental provinces. This is why the CEO said that we're going to be profitable in a sudden and in a massive manner. And I keep saying it. The big whales who are shorting NEO will know when to stop. It's the uneducated, illiterate shorts, the retailers, who think by putting fair comments will scare people to sell. And that's why the share is down. Not realizing it is heavily manipulated. That's why it's down. But when Wall Street is ready for it to run, the illiterate shorts will lose every penny. Not just the money that they've made, but the capital they put in. It says Neo Power released in June 2025 power replenishment report revealing that as of the end of June, the company had deployed 3,384 battery swap stations across 1,000 counties and districts in China, alongside 4,651 charging stations, further expanding its energy replenishment network in more cities and rural regions because we want to blanket everything. In June alone, NEO added 41 new swap stations. But according to Alfonso, we're behind. It says across 10 cities, including Chongqing, Guangzhou, Beijing, and Shanghai. Extending coverage to 30 additional county-level administrative regions and advancing toward its goal of achieving county-level battery swap accessibility nationwide by the end of this year. By the end of June, Beijing, Shanghai, Macau, Jiangsu, Zhejiang, Guangdong, Tianjin, and Chongqing had all attained full county-level coverage, marking NEO's completion of comprehensive network deployment in economically dynamic and densely populated province and municipalities. From a utilization perspective, battery swapping remains NEO's most distinctive competitive moat. We're not even talking about the chip and the technology company we just started. Let's don't even talk about that. In June, battery swap services reached a record 2.71 million swaps, marking a new single-month peak. Now remember this, normally we would have record levels in wintertime, around holidays. We're getting this now in June. But it says many users frequently leverage swap stations during electricity travel, particularly relying on highway-based facilities to enable long-distance self-drive journeys. And they are also increasing the amount of upgrades they're doing when they go on these long trips. Can you upgrade a dog poop, cat poop, rat poop, and smelly bat poop guano Tesla? No, you can't. On your way, you have to keep stopping and supercharging for 30 minutes and destroying your battery. NEO's charging network is also demonstrating strong public utility characteristics. In June, the company deployed 268 new charging piles, delivering over 2.6 million charging sessions. Notably, more than 80% of the electricity supplied was consumed by non-NEO vehicles in our charging infrastructure. Why is that so important? Why was infrastructure so important, guys? For NEO, this opens access model not only enhances asset utilization rates, but also boosts brand visibility among third-party EV owners. And remember, this is why Envoy is ramping up again, because Dr. Shen Fei now has live advertisements going on at the charging piles. Like we see here in the gas stations, when you stop to fill up gas at the gas station, there's a live clip of whatever commercial they want you to see. It was genius. And we're seeing the fruitage of that now. Distribution of NEO power battery swaps and charging stations. Meanwhile, demand for flexible battery upgrades continue to grow. I was speaking ahead of myself. With 8,758 upgrade services completed in June, many users opted for large capacity batteries during holidays like the Dragon Boat Festival as a strategy to alleviate range anxiety, which is a big problem here in America, which is one of the main reasons why EV adoption is not taking off, apart from the Stone Age technology. It says this year's NEO strategic deployment of swap stations along China's 9 vertical and 9 horizontal expressways networks has progressively conducted major travel corridors across 14 urban agglomerations. Daily service volumes at highway swap stations has risen notably, providing empirical validation excuse me guys, of battery swapping as an essential solution for worry-free long-distance travel. Mic drop moment. You see, we always knew this was coming. The shorts and the illegal manipulation. As long as it continue, I will continue to buy shares, because just like the whales, I see what's coming. CATL changed their whole business model just in order to join NEO's battery swapping business. But nothing to see here according to the media. I hope you guys found this video yet again on the 4th of July to be informational, inspirational, and motivational. If so guys, don't forget to hit that thumbs up. Takes a lot of time to do these videos and the editing. And if you haven't yet subscribed, you might want to think about doing so, because in this channel, we are waking up the middle class for the first time to get a major piece of the pie from the ground level up as to how the game is played on Wall Street. And like 50 said, we get rich or we die trying, guys.